Melanoma is the 5th most common cancer in the United States, with close to 100,000 new cases every year. The good news, it's entirely preventable. The key is to apply sunscreen before you go outside. So how should you apply it, and which kind of sunscreen should you use? Dr. Jenny Sobera is a board-certified dermatologist with Village Dermatology, and she is here to show us how it is done. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. This is a perfect topic for summer.
It sure is, Lyndon. Thank you so much for having me. This is a topic that I'm very passionate about. Number one, because I treat patients every day. I see the damage that sun can do. I've personally had numerous skin cancers from sun when I was a child, so it's very important to me. It's the most important product that anyone can use on their skin to help protect against the damage that you can get.
And there's
especially
so
living
brands.
in the South.
Oh yeah, living in the South,
super
year-round problem.
Sun, yes.
And you go in any store right now, you're kind of bombarded with the sunscreen sections. There's so many you can choose from,
right.
But you've kind of simplified this down to the 4 S's and what people should really look for when they're shopping. Can you tell us about those?
Sure, it is super overwhelming. So if you can remember these 4 S's, that will help you when you're choosing sunscreen. So we'll go through them really quickly. The first S is SPF, right? We all have heard that. That's the number on the sunscreen bottle. For instance, you can see this is an SPF 50. And there are a lot of misconceptions about SPF. A 15 is, a 30 is not twice as good as a 15. In fact, a 15 blocks about 93% of the sun rays, a 30 is about 97, and a 100 is about 99. So it's very small differences once you get up into that 30 to 50 range. Mm-hmm. So we say a 30 to 50 is right pretty much any time. You can go over that, but it's not really necessary.
Okay.
The second S is the spectrum. Is it a broad spectrum sunscreen? A lot of people see that on sunscreen labels. They do not know what that means. Mm-mm. And broad spectrum means that you're getting UVA and UVB protection. So UVB rays is what the SPF measures protection against, and that is only about 5% of what comes to the Earth's surface. It covers, it causes burning and even cataracts. But UVA is what's responsible for more longer term cumulative sun damage, responsible for tanning. And if it doesn't say broad spectrum, you're not getting coverage for UVA. That's about 95% of what comes to the Earth's surface. So it's very important to see broad spectrum.
Broad spectrum.
Yes. The next S is for your situation.
Okay.
Is this your everyday sunscreen, or is this a sunscreen you're going to use when you're at the beach or the lake or playing tennis or golf? Because those aren't always the same. You want a water-resistant sunscreen if you're going to be sweating, if you're going to be swimming. But for daily use, you might want something a little more cosmetically elegant. So it really depends on that. You can ask whoever's helping you with your sunscreen. And the last one is your skin type. Do you have acne, oily skin? Are you dry or sensitive? Do you have skin allergies? Those all play into what ingredients you want to look for in your sunscreen. Also, is your skin lighter or darker? Some darker toned skins do well with a more tinted sunscreen or one that doesn't look chalky on the skin. At the end of the day, I say the best sunscreen for you is what you're going to actually use. So it's important to get all those criteria in there so that you will love your sunscreen and that you will want to use it every day. That's the key.
Okay, well, I've tried to make a really good habit of wearing sunscreen every day, even when I come to work, in the dark, the sun's not out at 3 a.m. But, that's just putting it on once in the morning. Right. But you have a product out here, and we're going to talk about the amounts to kind of use of sunscreen. But I'm interested to learn about this. Is this something I can apply on top of my makeup throughout the day?
Absolutely. Reapplication is so important. People do not realize that, especially if you're out perspiring, swimming. But reapplication is important. So say you've gotten ready, you come here, but you're going to go for lunch with a friend or go out afterward and take a run. You can use the sunscreen like this powder. This is a completely chemical-free mineral powder. It's just zinc and titanium.
Okay.
And it comes out, you can see the dusty coming out.
Yeah.
This is, and you just brush it on. You can put it right over makeup. Some people put this in their hairline to avoid sunscreen, but you can just put this right on. It doesn't mess the makeup up, gives an amazing SPF coverage, very safe coverage, and is very easy to apply. You can keep this in your purse or in your bag and just use it whenever you need to without having to put on a creamy sunscreen.
Yeah, beneficial to powder your nose.
Yeah, that's a great one. You can even put this on babies because it doesn't have any chemicals in it. So this is one of our favorites, the powder-based sunscreens, very good for the skin.
So if you're doing the liquid sunscreen on your face and your body, let's start with the face. How much should you actually apply?
So that's also very important. For the face, about a size of a nickel.
Okay.
A lot of people do one tiny pump and expect that to do the job. About a nickel, you want to get your ears, you want to get in your hairline, you want to get down onto your neck. So it's not just right here, right? I've gotten skin cancer in my hairline before because, I always would get really burned right here. So that's very important. For the body, it's about 2 tablespoons, which is about a shot glass full. That is way more than most people
That's a lot.
admit to using. That is a good bit, but it takes that much to cover the body, and then it needs to be reapplied, again, depending on what you're doing that day.
Now, I want to kind of ask you about how you feel about spray-on sunscreens.
Yes.
Because those are harder to measure
Yes.
than, your 2 tablespoons. Are you a
Right.
fan of those? They're so easy for people to use, but are they effective?
Again, the best sunscreen is the one that you will use.
Okay.
I have 4 children. We do a lot of spray sunscreen. I do pay attention to ingredients. This is a good one. This is actually a chemical-free, mineral-based sunscreen. It sprays on very easily. It's very hydrating. This is their UV AOX mist from Elta. You see a lot of Elta up here. Elta is a phenomenal sunscreen brand that is really loved by dermatologists. It is just what they do so well. But this is their newest product. It's a good spray on. But I do use the other sprays. The key is to get it super even and to rub it in and reapply. It's hard to see where sprays have not gotten. So when you see people with big areas of burn where they've messed the
arch
pattern on the skin. So you have to be really good at spray sunscreen to do it properly.
Okay, before I let you go, this is a new one for me, and I pride myself, like I said, in my sunscreen. I have never heard of these pills you can take before you go outside. Explain how this works, and this is something that everyone can use.
This is probably the thing that the most people are shocked about when I talk about sun protection. HelioCare has been around a very long time. My whole family takes it, 2 pills before we're going to be in any intentional sun. If you take it every day, maybe it's because you have skin conditions like lupus or you're on Accutane. But if you don't have those, you just take about 2 of these in the morning. It takes about 30 minutes to work, lasts all day. This is going to give you an extra level of protection against sun damage. It is not a sunscreen though. This does not mean you do not have to use sunscreen. This is in addition to sunscreen. This is very powerful. My kids even ask for it now because they've seen over the years the benefit of how they don't burn as much when they take this when they're out. So it's just another safeguard against sun protection. Again, it is not in place of. But it's amazing. It's an extract from a tropical fern, so it's super safe, and it's just full of antioxidants that help prevent damage that you're getting when you're in the sun.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Sobera, for all this knowledge. I feel like sunburn's so common, especially in the South, but it is a very, very serious thing.
It is.
Thanks for all the knowledge you
Yes, thank
told
you.
us about
Thank
today.
you for having me, Linda.